Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Loehe. For all the saints who from their labors rest, who thee by faith before the world confessed, thy name, O Jesus, be forever blessed. Alleluia, alleluia. Thou wast their rock, their fortress, and their might. Thou, Lord, their captain in the well-fought fight. Thou in the darkness drear their one true light. Alleluia, alleluia. Those are the first two verses of the well-known hymn, For All the Saints. We typically sing that song on All Saints Sunday as we remember those who have died in the previous year. It's a day and a song that celebrates how the faithful lives of those who have died have inspired us to be faithful in our lives. Their bold witness for Christ leads us to be bold as they were. More, as they have now entered the church triumphant, we know that God has claimed them as saints in God's kingdom. Still, there are some who receive special notice. We recognize some who have served God in special ways, and we commemorate them on our church calendar, which you can find at the very front of our hymnal. My goal for this week is to introduce you to the stories of some of the folks we remember during the month of January. You have probably never heard of most of them. In seminary, we take a class called Lutheranism in North America, and while it sounds like a nothing much class, over my years of ministry, I have used what I learned in that class more times than I ever expected. Still, if I ever heard of Johann, Konrad, Wilhelm, Loehe, I don't remember it. He's someone worth remembering. Loehe was born in 1808, and his father died just 8 years later. This seems to have led to a lonely childhood for him. Loehe was educated at the University of Erlangen, but left to study in Berlin, attracted there not by certain classes he wanted to take, but by preachers in the area he wanted to hear. I'm sure that's exactly how most of us made our decision about where to go to school. Right. When he became a pastor himself, Loehe served in several different places over the next 6 years. But then he was called to a town called Neuendettelsau, an insignificant village in Bavaria. He wanted to serve in a city, but ended up serving in Neuendettelsau the rest of his life, and raised the village to international prominence. From this tiny village, Loehe influenced church life on 5 continents. Loehe seems to have been a good pastor, getting along well with a wide variety of people. More importantly, as he taught the Lutheran confessions, he developed an understanding of Holy Communion as the very center of the congregation's life. Other ministries like outreach to those in need and mission work flowed out of the congregation's experience of Holy Communion. He also began to think that the authority of a pastor's call came not from the congregation, but rather from Jesus himself. Loehe also had an interest in missionary work, particularly in the Americas. He had a lot of pastoral concern for Lutherans who immigrated to America, and he solicited funds and sent books and other things American churches would need. He arranged for emergency pastors to North America to serve the settlers and convert the Native Americans. His emissaries helped to found the Synod of Ohio, and later was instrumental in helping to found the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. Loehe wrote the spiritual and secular regulations for a series of German colonies in Michigan. Not long after that, his emissaries moved into Iowa and eventually formed the Synod of Iowa. This led to pastors and missionaries also being sent to Brazil, the Ukraine, Australia, and New Guinea. However, Loehe's interests went beyond mission work as well. Loehe founded a deaconess mother house and is considered the father of the deaconess movement. These deaconesses developed social and educational service in schools, hospitals, and other agencies. Nearer to home, he helped his local area churches become more grounded in the Lutheran confessions. A book I have summarizes Loehe this way. In short, Loehe was a remarkable advocate of confessional, devotional, missionary Lutheranism. The chapel at Wartburg Seminary in Dubuque, Iowa, is dedicated to his memory. Then, in a final comment, it says, "There is no biography of Loehe in English." I believe this to no longer be true, and that's a good thing. Loehe led a remarkable life, full of faith. Perhaps he did what we all should do. In his faith, he made a difference in our world. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.